Alright guys, this is our weekly solo player's guide to the Nightfall. This is our Warlock edition, as you can see. If you're new to the channel, we do this every single Tuesday and Wednesday with all three classes, Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. So if you need any other of the two guides, look in the description box down below. Between today or tomorrow, those will be up and available for your guided pleasure. Also, every Tuesday we do a Challenge of Elders guide. So if you need that, maybe you're trying to hit rank 400, you're solo player, hit up that Challenge of Elders guide, because that will help you not only get a up to 400 light weapon, but also up to a 400 light armor piece. That link is also going to be in the description box down below later today as soon as I get that done. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at the modifiers for the week, and then we'll rock our setup as far as weapon recommendations, loadouts, subclass loadouts, all that good stuff, and then we'll hit the guide. Modifiers this week are Arc Burn. Arc damage from any source is greatly increased. Small arms, primary weapon damage is favored, but it is going to take away from your special and heavy damage output, so just keep that in mind. We also got Juggler. No ammo drops for your equipped weapons, so just swap your weapons every once in a while. You should be just fine. Ironclad. More enemies have shields. All this is going to affect are the knights and the shanks. That's it. Nothing too bad at all. And then Daybreak. This is going to give you mayhem modifiers pretty much. So your grenade, your melee, and your super abilities are going to recharge very, very quickly. Like at most, you'll probably get a super roughly every 30 seconds, if not quicker, which is fantastic. So as far as weapons go, Chaos Supercell as the no raid modifier, but if you have Chaos Dogma, the Adept version that you can get from the featured raids, definitely rock that, because not only is it obviously going to be arc damage, it's also a primary damage, so it's also a primary weapon, so small arms is going to hit it even harder. And then in the final boss fight, Whirlwind's Curse. This weapon does bonus damage against Fallen. This final boss is Fallen. This thing is going to shred in that final section. The first two, well, the first two sections, yeah, are Hive, but after that it's all Fallen, and that thing will wreck people. It'll just tear stuff apart. So I would highly suggest that if you have it, or Chaos Supercell. But I will say, if you don't have Chaos Dogma, Fang of Your Ute, one of those two, bring a heavy or high impact, low rate of fire scout rifle with you, even if it's Chaos Dogma legendary version, or something to that effect. Maybe a Badger CCL or a Treads Upon Stars might be all right, because that middle section you're going to want to stay back a bit, and Chaos Supercell is not going to get the job done from the distance you need to stay at. So just keep that in mind. If you're not rocking Chaos Dogma, Fang of Your Ute, that's fine, but you are going to want to bring some sort of scout rifle with you just for that middle section. You also want Devil's Dawn. We're saying Devil's Dawn this week because this weapon also deals a small bonus amount of damage to fallen enemies, so it's going to hurt that boss just a little more. But if you don't have that, obviously Devil's Dawn Ex Machina is going to be really great as well, because that's going to do even more damage to fallen enemies than the Devil's Dawn. Or you could also rock Event Horizon from the Crucible Quartermaster. I'm not sure if that's Arc this week or not, but if you have that in Arc, fantastic. Either one of those three snipers are great. And then I'm rocking a machine gun. Surprise, surprise, you guys know me. I love my machine guns for PvE most of the time. And then as far as exotics goes, I got Ophidian Aspects. I would say don't use Impossible Machines. just because it grants landfall, but that will also cut your the amount of time you have in your super off a bit, which it might not make a difference this time around. I don't know. I've just kind of shied away from anything with landfall. I don't know why Bungie nerfed that like that. But fitting aspects mainly for the reload speed, more than anything else. Alright, Perpetual Charge is what I'm rocking. Grenade kills, recharge your melee. Melee kills, recharge your grenade. Pretty fantastic. Maybe Arc Web would be another one, but I would go Perpetual Charge. You definitely want Transcendence. Honestly, that's the only one that's really going to do anything good for you. When cast with full grenade and melee energy, Storm Trance restores your health to full. Yes, to full, so it's going to go instantly to full. Even if you're like in the red health, you're a shot away from death. Pop your super, you'll be just fine. And then your super will also last longer, so that's fantastic. Rising Storm hits with your Thunderstrike, charge your super ability and melee energy. So that's awesome. You're going to get a little bit more super energy a little bit quicker, as well as melee energy a little bit quicker. That's awesome. I don't think anybody goes to Rising Storm. Amplitude is obviously your PvP go-to, but I honestly suggest trying out Rising Storm in PvE. I think it'll make a bit of difference for you. You also want to rock Superconductor. If you've never seen this thing in action, you will today. Doubles your Storm Trance's lightning chaining capabilities. So it's literally, I've seen it go forward and then hit an enemy behind me. So I would definitely try Superconductor. It's pretty OP. And then I'm rocking Pulse Grenade because I'd killed myself like 2 or 3 times back to back with Storm Grenade. So I was like, you know what, take it off. We're rocking Pulse Grenade. But if you're smarter than I am, you probably are, you can rock Storm Grenade. It will obliterate waves of enemies. It's pretty great if you don't kill yourself with it. But other than that, let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, so once you hit this Nightfall modifier, you're going to want to jump down here. There's only going to be a few Acolytes, 1 Knight, and a couple of Thralls. The only thing that's doing arc damage down here are the Thralls. They're obviously not too bad to deal with. Just take them out real quick. And then just, for the rest of it, just go ahead and rock out this Knight who's actually just doing void damage as well. So just be careful because his melee damage is also arc. So just be careful with him. But you should honestly just be able to run straight through this if you wanted to skip everything. Try not to get into these things. They will do a little bit of damage over time. And they're just annoying. Other than that, once you get here, go ahead and take out this Knight if at all possible. First, because he's going to do a lot of arc damage in a couple big swings. And then deal with the Wizard. And then deal with the Acolytes. And if you want to, you can pop your super. Though, what I found to be faster, just hold on to your super until just after this part. I'll show you why in a second. But if you're lower light, say you're like 375, 380, you might want to just jump up into our safety spot, which is right where this Vandal is. But for you higher level people, if you just want to risk it, it's honestly not too big of a risk. What you want to do is just come running over here, as long as you have your super. Remember, you want your super for this bit if you're doing it this way. Go ahead and stand over here. Wait till you see the Thralls start coming out. Pop your super. There's going to be 1, 2 Knights, some Thralls, some Acolytes, and 2 Cursed Thralls. As long as you're rocking these your subclass in the same setup that we talked about in the setup section, you should just be able to rock through these guys. Now once you kill the last few remaining enemies, whatever they may be, go ahead and look up here. There is going to be a small wave of Thralls, about 3 or 4 of them, and then they're going to spawn in also behind you from that first door that we stood next up against just a minute ago. Once you kill these guys, it should be the end of the first grid. And so you definitely want to jump back up here, because in this wave there's going to be, I believe, three or four knights, 2 wizards, a bunch of acolytes, and a bunch of thralls. So you're going to want to take care of them from a distance, just because there's a lot of arc damage being thrown at you. Be very careful. Try and take out the wizards quickly as possible, as well as that back knight, because they will eventually come up towards you. As you can see, this wizard is already over here. She actually ruined one of my runs by actually coming up onto this platform, and she just wiped me out before I even knew what was going on. So as you can see, you have to be very careful. Your health is going to go down pretty quick. But just throw a bunch of grenades, like especially storm grenades if you are rocking those. Just be careful you don't hit the railing in front of you, or that little box car thing. And then just take out the rest of the ads, and you should be pretty decently easy into the next wave, which is going to be the thralls again. So if you pop your super here after the majority of the knights and the 2 wizards down, you should be just fine. Go ahead and take these guys out, and then you're going to get that same wave of two thralls sections. So, you know, up here and then back at that other door again. There's 4 of them on each side. Once you take care of those, there's going to be 2 major knights and 1 major wizard. You're going to have to kill all 3 of those majors in order to deactivate the rest of the grid layers. And then after that, you should be just fine to skip on through. You don't have to kill any of the other ads. If you do want it just for the points, that's up to you. I believe I do that here. I'm not too sure, but there are going to be thralls, as you can see, and acolytes, and I believe there's a few cursed thralls. So just be careful if you do decide to take care of them. Otherwise, you should be good to skip over to the next section. Alright, so in this next room there's going to be some acolytes, cursed thrall, a regular thrall, 2 knights. One or if not both are doing arc damage, so be very careful, take them out as quickly as possible. One of those actually had a sword. That's not always the case, so just be careful of that. And then once you're here, if you're not using Adept Chaos Dogma, regular Chaos Dogma, Fang of Your Ute, Adept, or regular, you're going to want to switch over to some sort of scout rifle in this section. As you can see, everything is far away. I would not suggest going past this building in the right hand corner for the majority of this fight, just because there's going to be 3 major ogres. Those are doing void damage, but they will hurt quite a bit. There's also a ship right on top that's going to start shooting at me. If you want to, you can hide in this building. It shouldn't be able to hit you from there. But as you can see, you will have to go back around just to deal with it. I did notice it kind of went away after I go by that little building, that little shack that I was just telling you guys about. So if you want to, you can kind of mess around over here. Just make sure you kill all 3 ogres. Kill all the wizards. I think there's 3 of them total. That knight should be gone by the time you get to it. there are going to be Fallen spawning in, so those guys should be gone. The Fallen captains will be major. There's going to be 2 of them. I do believe their melee damage is also arc, so be very careful with them as well. As you can see, there's a few cursed thralls, some acolytes up there. With the Fallen waves, it's going to be, like I said, 2 major Fallen captains, and then just some, I think there's a couple Vandals and some Dregs. Nothing to sweat about at all. As you can see, just take out these ogres. And then kind of just pop your super to finish off these Fallen and whatever hive are left over, and you should be just fine. Now, after this section, if you want to, if you're not using, say, like the Chaos Dogma, or if you're using Fang of Your Ute and you have the Jalo Supercell, I would go ahead and actually switch to that, just because there's going to be a lot of ads kind of huddled up together, and Jalo Supercell does that, like, I don't know what you would call it, the kind of flickers and does damage to several enemies at the same time, and that could really help you out, save you some time. Otherwise, just go with Chaos Dogma, Fang of Your Ute, whatever you want to use, to be honest. This section shouldn't take you too long at all. Just go ahead and finish off these enemies. There's just going to be a bunch of dregs in here at first. And then once you kill the final dreg, that little shield that Sepiks has got going on will go away. So just prepare to throw your grenades, do heavy ammo, primary weapons, whatever you got cooking. Go ahead and just rock it against them. You want to do as much damage here as possible before that first shield goes up. That first shield, as you can see, is arc. And then once that happens, run back in here. This is going to be your safety zone. You will still be able to get hit by some things, but for the most part, you're pretty safe in this area. If you do take too long, sometimes the enemies that are downstairs will actually come up from behind you. So just be careful of that. That doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. Now you'll see me here do it here. This is the most risky thing to do. For the next 2 waves, it's fine, but for this first wave, as you can see, those shot cannons are doing arc damage. So be very careful. And if you at all can, use the first shot cannon to hit the shield off. Second, if you don't mess it up like I do right here, hit it on Sepiks. It'll do a lot of damage. Just remember to hold that trigger button down and just let it explode by itself. Once you do that, kind of finish off whatever ads that are kind of bugging you, and then go back to doing damage. If you do get hurt, you can go all the way back into that far right hand corner where I kind of just slid into. If you go all the way back there, you'll be perfectly safe. Nothing is going to hit you through there. So that's kind of your go-to spot if you do get in trouble. After that, just go ahead and keep doing damage to Sepiks until that solar shield pops up. Right to go is come down here, kind of clear out any ads that are spawning in here. Every once in a while, the shot cannons will spawn down there and they'll actually run back upstairs. That happens with the void cannons, I believe. Just go ahead and pop your super again. If you have it, it'll be a lot easier this time around, a lot less stressful. Just go ahead and clear out whatever shields you got going on. And then, like I said before, if you can get that second shield or second shot cannon to hit against Sepiks, it's not going to be arc, but it is going to do a pretty decent amount of damage. So just, try that if you can. Don't risk your life doing it, but otherwise, definitely try it out. And then just throw your grenades, keep doing damage to the boss. If he spawns in right in front of you, kind of step back a little bit. Don't throw your grenade, or you can throw your grenade, but don't throw it at the wall. And then just keep doing damage to him. You should be just fine. If you want to, while he's at the at the window where he just was, go ahead and pop your super. You should have enough range on there. Everybody knows in the Crucible you got like a 10-meter range distance on that thing, so definitely go ahead and rock, you know, as much damage as possible on him until that Void Shield pops up. Once the Void Shield pops up, go ahead and jump back down the stairs again. That's actually where I think the major one spawns in. Yeah, so go ahead and just take him out. You don't even have to worry about the second one at all. He's low enough health, as you can see, or as you will be able to see. He won't take but a few more shots and he's gone. So that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you found it useful, informative. You liked it, you didn't like it, whatever. Rate it. Also leave me a comment. Did it help you out? Did it not help you out? What could it make it better? A better guide. And then rewards are at the end. Like I said at the beginning of the video. Links are in the description box down below for those other guides that we do between Tuesday and Wednesday. And other than that, I will talk to you guys later.